Not higher budget, sorry. This is worldwide gross, not budget. Because if The King's Speech cost $427 million to make, I got to talk to their accountant. Because it's a great movie, but nothing blows up in like the whole thing. Just a lot of talking. There's a lot of Jeffrey Rush and Colin Firth just kind of like engaging in dialogue at one another. Helena Bonham Carter off to the side, looking a little like a snack. Okay. There's no way, though, that The King's Speech didn't crush Little Women at the box office. Okay, Empire's... I don't know if this is adjusted for inflation, okay? It's hard for me to believe. Look, this is a 40-year difference. There's a lot less people on Earth in 1980 than there are in 2019, and less of them were watching movies. But at the same time, I have to believe that this is more. That is adjusted for inflation. Now, The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. I'm going to say that the last Hobbit movie was a wet fart at the box office and made around $380 million. It made $956 million. It made almost $1 billion worldwide. Average movie ticket maybe was $10. You're telling me 100 million citizens sat in a chair and watched 4 hours of the Hobbit finale? This shit pisses me off. I gotta watch the Hobbit movies. Uncut Gems, $50 million. Look, this is the easiest question of all time. Uncut Gems had a limited release in the American cities that think they're cooler than all the other American cities, and then it came out on Netflix. Sweeney Todd's gonna crush it. I bet Sweeney Todd probably did 90 mil. 153. Okay, The Irishman, it was a Netflix release. I have to believe it's less. Yeah, a lot less. Argo crushed. I bet Argo, I'm going to say it did 160 mil. I'm thinking US. I got to think worldwide. Jojo Rabbit, worldwide, I bet it did 20 domestic. Let's say 35 worldwide. I'm so far off. This is not even close. I'm pretty sure Pi was released on burned CDs. There's no way this is over like 2 million. I got to recalibrate, okay? There's no way that a 2009 Transformers did less than a Billy. I've been wrong on every single one so far. Okay, this is tough. Where are you that the average movie ticket is $10? I'm in 2010, motherfucker! Which is where your head has to be when you gotta look at the date that's in brackets, okay? Before we had transitory 8% CPI inflation. Jerome Powell. I believe, so Spider-Verse is one of those movies that I think you could absolutely underrate. There's a few different types of box office graphs. A movie with The Rock, 70 million domestic opening weekend. Weekend 2, 26 million domestic. Weekends 3 through 20, nobody's watching it at all. Then, an Avengers movie. $300 million domestic, opening weekend. 210 domestic, 145 domestic. It's got a slower decline. Then there's like your Titanics. Titanic is like opening weekend, $2 million domestic. Weekend 16, $50 million domestic. Like it grows in word of mouth. People rewatch it. It gets stature. It gets wedged in the theaters. It stays there forever. So I definitely think Spider-Verse was one of those movies where it started probably pretty well, but then also had a longer tail than most movies, especially Transformers, because people actually liked it. That being said, I have a hard time. I mean, the Transformers movies, until Avatar and then Marvel, were the biggest movies in the world, also do extremely well with overseas audiences. I have to feel like Spider-Verse, maybe we're looking at the 400s, but still well-liked. It's not even close on this one. I'm going to say Invisible Man probably did 180 mil worldwide. I'm starting to get closer. There's no doubt that Forrest Gump probably did, I bet it did 300 mil 200 to 300 mil in America. And then it was 1994. Let's add in another 200 worldwide. I'm going to say this is 400 to 500 million worldwide. Okay, we're not off by that much. These movies are always the hardest to guess because I honestly have no idea. I don't think I know anybody on earth who saw Maleficent. However, it is a Disney movie. They made sequels. They do well worldwide. They paid Angelina Jolie. But I'm going to say lower. This is tough, man. Okay. Friday the 13th did 91 million at the worldwide box office. Avengers Endgame is the highest grossing movie of all time, I have to imagine. I'm probably going to take more on this one. 2.8 billion. Okay, Knives Out was in theaters, but like also on Netflix. There's no, I mean, it's not even close. I'm just trying to come up with a model for the ballpark here. I'm going to say Knives Out probably did less than 200 million worldwide. Not even close. Bad Boys for Life. This is a really tough one because Bad Boys for Life came out during, COVID, but it was also the highest grossing movie of 2020 because it came out during the summer when we were like, when Wave 1 ended and people were like, it's over forever. And I'm so excited to go back to the theater again. I missed it so much. I haven't seen a movie in 5 months. Now we're like 2 years later. I don't know, man. Believe it or not, despite COVID, this did it did 100 million domestic, no problem. I bet it put in enough to beat Knives Out because Knives Out came on Netflix so soon after its release. Okay, it was close though. It came out before COVID. Okay, motherfuckers. You guys are so confident. It was released January 17th. Oh, you guys don't live in Wuhan? COVID started for me when I saw the first case on the news. March must be nice. I'm a citizen of the world. When one country feels something, I feel it too, okay? I forgot it. It wasn't real in America until the NBA canceled the season. Anyway, sorry. I was wrong, okay? This is tough. Because obviously Seven's a better movie. Seven, though, is rated R, and it was released 25 years before Bad Boys for Life. I bet it did very well domestically. I bet it didn't do so well worldwide. I have to go lower on this. Shape of Water. It's another... I believe that The Shape of Water is a movie that did not do well domestically and did not do that well overseas. This is a movie you watch at home. Dolittle, there's no way this movie didn't fucking print money. Even if it's ass, a general ages movie, it has to beat The Shape of Water worldwide. Oh, not by much. Bambi? I kind of feel like Bambi, it didn't go straight to streaming. This shit came out like January 3rd. I remember the ads. If this is adjusted for inflation, there's no way that Bambi doesn't beat Dolittle. Because this shit would come out in the movie theater and there would be like one screen and it would only play this for a year. World War II, though? Of course, World War II. People were still watching movies. People in the U.S. were still watching movies. How do you think they got those stories from the front? World news, There's no way this isn't higher. Okay, Guardians of the Galaxy absolutely destroyed it. It's probably, I bet we're looking at 1.6 billion. Toy Story. This is a really tough one for me. It's a hard one to count because Toy Story, I remember Toy Story was in theaters for like a year and a half. I saw it in theaters. It was a cultural phenomenon. However, I have to feel like, this is any Marvel movie is a movie that slays domestically and worldwide. Toy Story in 1995. I gotta remember, I'm still young, but 1995 is old. Like this, the world was a different place back then. It wouldn't surprise me if this did 300 million domestic in the US, but did not cross Guardians of the Galaxy. I will always bet on a movie that came out when there were 2 movies released annually. I've made a horrible mistake. Try again. Okay. Okay, Pirates of the Caribbean 2011 made $1 billion. Tangled couldn't even sniff at that, okay? Halloween 1978, I bet we're looking at like less than 100 million. Spotlight, it seems like the kind of movie that does 15 milli domestic and then it gets nominated for Best Picture, goes up to around, I don't know. I would say 90 domestic, let's say 170 worldwide. Digimon the movie, look, there's no chance. I'm not even going to like give that one the time of day. Rogue One, there's no way this didn't do 600, 700 milli. Fight Club, I bet we're looking at under 200. King's Speech, I bet it crushed it here. Yeah, 427. Fellowship of the Ring, 900 mil plus, easy. SpongeBob SquarePants, come on. I'm not insulting it, but Pi, come on. Again, we're at 3 million. Terminator Dark Fate, as bad as it is, there's no way this didn't do at least 150. Superman Returns, not a good movie, but I saw it in theaters. Ergo, I'm going to say 500. Infinity War is a free guess. Twilight, less than Infinity War, but a lot. Joker, definitely, even though it's rated R, this beats Twilight, I think. I didn't know that it made $1 billion. Now, this is a really tough one. I have to still go with Harry Potter on this one. Wow! Give it up to Joker, man. Joker beat a Harry Potter movie at the box office? When are we going to go to Universal Studios? There's going to be a Joker ride. You can go to Joker World, buy a purple sport coat. Cats versus Men in Black 3. Come on. This is an insult. Amazing Spider-Man 2. I feel like nobody was excited for Spider-Man movies back then. Otherwise, this would be a slam dunk. I'm going to say this did about 500. Come on. That was close. That was close. Pink Panther versus Transformers. Again, easy. Ford versus Ferrari. Easy. High School Musical. This shit came to theaters. I thought this was only on the Disney Channel. This has got to be lower. I'm going to become the Joker. I thought it was on the Disney Channel. Saw versus The Matrix. This is a really tough one. Because like The Matrix was like an underground hit. But Saw, like $103 million for like an original horror movie in 2004 was pretty high. I got to go with more on The Matrix though. Okay, I mean, I guess, you know, it's not fair because like some of these were probably like, it came out in the US and it made like 30 to $50 million. And then like 9 months later, it comes out in the UK. And then everyone, in the US, nobody knew what The Matrix was. They're like, Keanu Reeves in a movie? Is he doing his Dracula accent? By the time it comes out in England, they're like, everybody knows it's a classic. So, of course, they're buying up tickets like crazy. Okay, I believe that Pitch Perfect prints. I'm bad at this. Okay, Titanic is like the second highest grossing movie of all time. Hey, Fishy Hat, thanks for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. I know where the bastard sleeps. It's a quote from Keanu Reeves' Jonathan Harkin, okay? Man of Steel loses to Titanic. That's easy. Open Water probably made, I'm going to say less than 20 million. Terminator Salvation, it had actors in it, so it will win. Paranormal Activity is a tough one. Because it was a big success. But I have to imagine it's still lower. Batman vs. Superman must have made a Billy. Fate of the Furious. Whew. These are big movies. I'm going to say lower, but not by much. I underestimated Fast and the Furious's worldwide power at the peak of its influence. Holy cow. Avatar versus Seven. Tough one. I'm going to go Seven probably made a little less. Dolittle made less, we recall. Spider-Man 3 must have made more. 900. Hey! Amazing Spider-Man 2, a little less. 700. Pirates of the Caribbean. These movies, people fucking loved Captain Jack Sparrow. If you're like in your early 20s, you might not remember this very well. In 2011, I was like 22, 23 years old. Captain Jack Sparrow was fucking everywhere. If Johnny Depp ran for president in the outfit, he would have won. He would have been the only politician in a generation to unite both parties. He has cross-aisle appeal. Women wanted him and men wanted to be him. There's no way this didn't sell tickets. Ratatouille is going to be lower. Great movie, but it's going to be lower. Spotlight's going to be lower. Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't even need to tell you this is higher. 21 Jump Street. You're probably looking at less than 200. You just had to do it, didn't you? As bad as Suicide Squad is, there's no way it did less than 201. Comedies don't do that well at the box office typically. Fate of the Furious is going to be much higher because we just saw it. Us, I bet it did 300. I'm getting calibrated. Now, any fantasy movie that makes it to theaters is going to cream, okay? This is probably in the 400s. Sonic the Hedgehog, I have to imagine it's lower, man. Though I think everybody would be like, nobody even knows Prince Caspian. It's got to be lower. It just has a higher online presence. Argo, we saw it. I think it's lower, but I was uncomfortable with it. It's got to be close. This shit is impossible because Onward came out on Disney Plus. And it was like April or May 2020. But it is a Disney movie opening worldwide. I'm still going to go lower. That's a lot of pull for a movie that came out at peak pandemic with a simultaneous digital release. Uncut Gems. We know it did less. Parasite, it must have done more. 12 Years a Slave, I bet it did more. Parasite is going to have a subtitle debuff, unfortunately. Some people will just never go see a foreign movie in theaters. All right, shows what I know. Try again. Force Awakens versus Contagion. Tough one. Probably go less for Contagion there. Terminator Salvation kills Contagion. X-Men The Last Stand, way closer than I thought it was going to be. King Kong, that's a really tough one. I bet it did a little less. Wow, little more. Little more. Try again. Dark Knight, Amazing Spider-Man. Easy choice. Sorry, Dark Knight. Maybe if you were a little bit better, you could beat some of those Pirates movies. Super Size Me probably made less than $10 million. Rogue One crushes it, not even close. Pi, obviously, is like the lowest in the whole category. Birdman's going to beat it. Moonlight's going to beat Birdman. I didn't even think about it. I just clicked. I'm just going to be honest. Go again. I still believe. I've never heard of this movie. The Gentleman crushes it. Lego Movie, that's got to be a Billy. Argo, little less. Justice League, lot more. The Hunt, less than 100. Less than 10. Get Out, 250. Dark Knight, say about 1.007. Repeating, of course. Halloween, come on, way lower. Fight Club, little higher. Transformers, much higher. Hobbit, lower. It's The Hobbit at the peak of its powers versus Transformers at the peak of its powers. Always bet on The Hobbit, man. Always bet on The Hobbit. Okay. Chronicles of Narnia beats Inglourious Bastards. Wizard of Oz has got to be like 10 billion. This is not adjusted for inflation, you liars. Okay, X-Men The Last Stand wins. No question. Marriage Story came out on Netflix at the same time as its original release. It's an R-rated movie with no guns in it. Less. Digimon the movie is going to be higher. Was like 400 million. Wow. Maleficent, a little lower. Oh my God, man. Uncut Gems beats Crawl. What the hell is Crawl, man? I've never even heard of this movie. Okay. Django Unchained beats Click. Birdman loses to Django Unchained. Maleficent, Prince Money, apparently. Captain Marvel, I bet it did more than Maleficent, man. Yeah. Super Size Me, way lower. Sex and the City movie, this shit probably did 500 mil worldwide. I wasn't on by too much. We go lower on Spotlight. Terminator Salvation, we know is higher. Saw 4, I bet is like 100 milli. Emoji Movie, I bet it did 280. Underwater, I bet it did 75. Avengers Infinity War, we don't even have to talk about it. Ratatouille, obviously lower. Incredibles 2, I bet it did 800. 1.2 billion? That's more than I thought. Little Women, 400. 206, I meant. Tangled, crushes it. Any Disney movie gets, especially an animated movie, gets a buff there. As much as people were disillusioned with Star Wars, I find it hard to believe that Rise of Skywalker doesn't shit on Tangled here. 1917 is going to be lower. Chronicles of Narnia, it's going to be higher, right? Yeah. The Revenant is going to be lower. Now, that's actually crazy to me, but not in a bad way. I just find it hard to imagine 40 million people willingly going to see The Revenant in theaters because it's an uncomfortable movie to watch. You want to go see a man get his entrails eaten by a bear for 5.5 hours? I saw it. It was a good movie. Don't get me wrong. Okay, we got to get a gold in this at some point. Days of Future Past beats It. El Mariachi probably made like $1 million. Pinocchio made a lot. 21 Jump Street, it was so close, man. I feel like the best R-rated comedies ever, like The Hangover, you could do 100, 200 million domestically. I think it goes a little higher. It's one of the most noteworthy comedies from the 2010s. I think it goes a little higher. The Avengers is an easy one. Jojo Rabbit, another easy one. Fast and the Furious, Hobbs and Shaw is going to be way up there. Halloween was lower. Spotlight's going to be higher. Solo is going to be much higher. That's so sad for Solo. 392 million. The Incredibles 2 is doing 4x that. What the hell went wrong, man? Okay, Captain Marvel did a billy. Matrix did not do a billy. Prince Caspian was a little lower than The Matrix. All is Right in the World. Saw 4. We're still on the low end here. Monsters University, probably, I'm going to guess 800 milli. Shawshank Redemption, 350. 28. I bet the SpongeBob SquarePants movie beats that. Suicide Squad, no question, it beats that. Parasite, 245 million. Argo beats it. Try again. We go again. I want 25. The Hunt loses. Fight Club wins. Guardians of the Galaxy. Now we're very high here. Pink Panther, we go lower. Lone Ranger. It's a colossal box office bomb, but worldwide, Disney, Johnny Depp, it can beat Steve Martin in the Pink Panther. Chronicles of Narnia, we go higher. Pinocchio, we go lower. Friday the 13th from 1980, we go lower. Marriage Story, 300K. Amazing Spider-Man 2, we go much higher. Fantastic Beasts. I feel like we were, around 2018, we were hitting Harry Potter fatigue. I'm not saying this movie didn't print. I don't think it did 708. I'm going lower. Shape of Water, we go lower. Sonic the Hedgehog, we go a little higher. Toy Story 3, easy Billy. Gentlemen, we go much lower. The Hobbit, easiest higher of my life. John Carter, less than 100 million domestic. 284 worldwide. I'm a little surprised. Zombieland Double Tap. Come on, man. Look, I liked Zombieland when it came into theaters, okay? I saw it I saw it once with my friends, and then I saw it once with my parents. It had cross-aisle appeal, okay? Nobody wanted a Zombieland sequel. If they did, they didn't want it 10 years after the first one. Like, Zombieland was sending up zombie movies that were already, like, overrepresented in 2010, and then a decade later, they're sending it up again. It's like you're running into, like, the Scary Movie problem here. There's no way it didn't do, or there's no way it did more than 280. Like, Bloodshot, look, Vin Diesel in a solo vehicle, released January 2020. Come on. There's no chance. Call of the Wild. This is a tough one. 2020. Can this 2020 movie beat Vin Diesel's Bloodshot? I don't know. I have to bet against Vin Diesel. Okay. How have I not heard of this movie? Anyway, Pirates, easy 800. Spotlight's a little lower for sure. Toy Story's way higher. Look at this. We're doing it. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's a tough one. Because Toy Story, of course, huge movie, but 1995, and it was an original property. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 2019. More People on Earth, but it's rated R. It's a long movie. I'm still going to go lower. Very close. Man of Steel's definitely going to be higher. Us is definitely going to be lower. Incredibles 2, printed at 1.2. We know that. Digimon, way lower. Superman Returns is going to absolutely destroy it. Invisible Man is going to be lower. Primer probably made like $5 million total. Or less. Hello.
Just need to get my shoes.
Now, here's a question for you. What do you think made more money, Kate? Primer or Mad Max 1979?
What? Was I even alive?
You were.
I wasn't even alive before the Mad Max, so I don't even know what it is.
Kate, how do you feel about The Invisible Man?
Sucks.
She says it sucks.
It's the husband, right? Invisible Man, the husband?
Yeah, the one where the husband is invisible.
Horrible.
Or is he?
So bad.
She said horrible, so bad.
And then you liked it more than the movie that I liked.
And then she said, you liked it more than the movie that I liked. Now, I'm using my marriage telepathy. She's talking about Jojo Rabbit.
No.
No. Okay, she's talking about...
We watched it after, and then you said, oh, I think Invisible Man was better. And I'm like, how? I think it was like Disney or something.
Was it Black Widow? The Invisible Man is way better than Black Widow. That's not even close.
I think it was Black Widow. I don't know. Maybe.
Chat's divided. A lot of people are saying that you're right. A lot of people are saying that I'm right. It's
people who are saying you're right is they're just blind love with you.
She said people that are agreeing with me are just stans. They're not thinking with their head. They're blinded. Mad Max must have made more. Django Unchained must have made more. We're back in it. Knives Out, less. Yeah, because it was a little Netflix joint. Pi does better. Birds of Prey. Look, it was COVID, but there's no way it didn't crush Pi. Rocky. I bet it beat Birds of Prey. What? Gold medal, though. I'll take my gold medal regardless. How did Birds of Prey in 2020 make more money than Rocky? Rocky in 76, sorry. It seems like one of those movies that could be in theaters for like 6 years. Because of inflation? Rocky doesn't have guns? Stop. You're so like wrong about these. You would have said that Birds of Prey would beat The King's Speech, and you would have been wrong. There's guns in Birds of Prey. The King's Speech made $430 million. It doubled it.
Is that good?
$430 million worldwide is very good for a drama, for sure.
It's a good movie.
It's one of Kate's favorite movies.
I watched it like 3 times.
She loves The King's Speech. It's a good movie, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking it. The King's Speech, better than The Invisible Man, for the record. Anyway, run me one more. I think we can do this. Bad Boys for Life beats Green Lantern. Jojo Rabbit loses. Inception must have done 600-700. Avengers Age of Ultron is going to be up there, even though it's not that good. Now, this is an ultimate question, man. I bet the original Avengers... Man, this is tough. Better movie... But I feel like Marvel fandom was at like a 7 worldwide around here. And was at like a 9 around here. But I'm going to say more. Close. Quantum of Solace. Much lower. I didn't even have to think. Why are you thinking? Titanic, much higher. Spectre, much lower. Terminator Salvation, lower. Bloodshot, come on, man. Terminator Dark Phase, going to be higher. Frozen 2, there's no way this didn't do 1.1. Do it. WALL-E, definitely, it must have done 700-800. It only did 500? What a world we live in. Maleficent destroys for some reason. You never bet against The Hobbit. Blair Witch Project, 300 million. Friday the 13th, slightly lower. Cars 2, no way it doesn't do 600 plus. King Kong, it's a little less, but it's still a lot. Ooh, 3 million? Come on! By $3 million? That's just like one time Bill Gates saw the movie. Okay, I'm doing one more. Maleficent's less. Artist, much less. I almost went higher on the Artist. What's wrong with me? Rogue One, definitely higher. Spectre, definitely lower. Jojo Rabbit, definitely lower. Argo, definitely higher, but I always overrate how much Argo did at the box office. I don't remember a Winnie the Pooh film coming out, but this is like when I lived in Korea. How could a Winnie the Pooh movie not print at the box office? It could not, I guess. Let's go again. Civil War beats Hobbs and Shaw. Jojo Rabbit loses to Hobbs and Shaw. Shape of Water beats Jojo Rabbit. Spider-Man Spider-Verse beats Shape of Water. Lego Movie Prince, no doubt about it. Incredibles 2, 1.2 billion. Suicide Squad, 400. 750. Holy cow. Little Women, 206. Blair Witch Project, $6. I should have thought about that more. Give me one more. I'm playing on tilt now. Pixels beats the Pink Panther. El Mariachi, $12. Wizard of Oz, not even close. Dark Knight Rises, had to be 900. Civil War, slightly higher. Cars 2, lower. Empire Strikes Back, lower. Hobbit, never bet against the Hobbit. Fellowship of the Ring, lower. That one took a lot of gumption. I'm going to tell you. I don't know how to... You got a Hobbit? Lord of the Rings Hobbit? What was the first Hobbit movie we bet on? This one's... The Desolation of Smaug has to be the one that was like that was the one people wanted to see. They wanted to see the damn dragon, right? Nobody really cares about the battles. They want to see Bilbo versus dragon. Give me higher. 7's lower. Friday the 13th lower. Argo 230-ish. Battleship is so fucked, man. This movie is so fucking bad and stupid. But does a PG-13 sci-fi movie starring Liam Neeson and Rihanna do more than Argo? I think it does. I think it could. Birdman's lower. Superman Returns is going to be higher. Solo is a little lower, right? Oh my God. By $1 million? By $1 million? You would do that to me? We go again. 7 loses to Spectre. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. I framed the question inappropriately. We go again. Okay. It beats the Blair Witch Project. Pixels loses to It. Terminator Dark Fate beats Pixels by a very little bit. Primer loses, but it's a great movie. Argo does 230. Digimon is less. We remember that. Monsters University must be like in the 800s. Django Unchained, 200s. Titanic, 2 billies. Moonlight, less than 100. Harry Potter, close to a billy. Pi, very low. Halloween, 190. Lone Ranger, slightly higher. Dark Phoenix, bet it did 450. Holy cow, Dark Phoenix was a bomb, dude. I know it was bad, but it did less than the Lone Ranger? With superheroes in it? Had Jennifer Lawrence in it, man. They must have lost their shirt on that one. Ah, we go again. Get Out, less. The Revenant, more, though it kind of blows me away. Bad Boys for Life, we know it's less. Emoji Movie, less. The Hunt, much less. Joker, a lot. Lot of money. Spectre, we're going lower, 880. Little Women, 200s. I said higher. I have to stop. I'm playing completely on tilt. I'm going to do one more. We go Lord of the Rings. I literally clicked the wrong button because I phrased the question wrong. Ratatouille, crushes it. Click. I hate this smug look, man. Friday the 13th, 2009, we go lower. Contagion, we go higher. Rogue One, we go higher. X-Men The Last Stand, we go way lower. Sweeney Todd, we go lower. Saw, it's in the hundreds. Avengers Endgame, much higher. Titanic, lower. It's like a 2.1 billion. That's a tough one, though. Terminator, obviously lower. Iron Man 3, definitely higher. Open Water is on the lower end. Uncut Gems, lower, though it pains me. Pirates of the Caribbean, never bet against it. All I'm going to say, if we ever get Pirates of the Caribbean versus The Hobbit, I'm closing the tab, okay? Because I can't choose that. I have two heuristics. Always bet on The Hobbit and always bet on Pirates. If we get them both together, there's going to be carnage. Dark Knight's obviously more. Mariachi's obviously less. Transformers is obviously more. Lone Ranger's obviously less. Fate of the Furious, obviously more. Pixels, obviously less. Let's stay in this groove. Birds of Prey, slightly less. Amazing Spider-Man 2, much more. Justice League, I bet it did less. Spectre, 880. Dark Knight Rises, definitely more. Knives Out, definitely less. 21 Jump Street, definitely less. Suicide Squad, way more. Argo, way less. Shrek, way more. Bloodshot, way less. I'm feeling good. Men in Black 3, way more. Halloween, way less. We got a good seed. Tangled, way more. Solo, way less. And this is a new PB. Always bet on The Hobbit. We're tasting Blue Sky. Spotlight, way less. Spider-Man Spider-Verse, way more. Dolittle, little less. Saw 4, less. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, more. Harry Potter, always bet on Harry Potter. We go higher. Man of Steel, less. Wall-E, less, but it pains me. Parasite, less. Jumanji, The Next Level, more. Superman Returns, way less. Blair Witch Project, less. Call of the Wild, less. Winnie the Pooh, less. You got to remember that one. That's an edge case. The Artist, more. Us, more. I'm in the groove. 2012, definitely did more. Come on. Crawl, less, even though I've never heard of it. Lion King is like a 1.6 billy. Invisible Man, we're going less. Spider-Man 3, way more. Birdman, way less. Shape of Water, more. Battleship, sadly, more. We're going infinite, man. Shawshank Redemption, less. Joker, substantially more. 1917, less. Twilight, more, but not by as much as you would think. Avatar crushes it. Empire Strikes Back is less. Pitch Perfect 2 is less than you'd think. Emoji Movie is a little less. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. This is where you phone a friend. Great movie. I feel like people have a hard time suspending their disbelief that the apes could take over the world. This is the second one, which is a great movie. It's a great movie. But I find it hard to believe that it printed. But I think it printed more than the Emoji Movie. Let's go! It printed! More. By 9 milli. By 9 milli. Still, I'll take my 72, man. That was a close one. What a run. What a run. Gold medal. Impressive. Okay.